At their best, Central Florida is a three-headed living highlight reel. Will we see that Central Florida on a night where they could clinch a top 6 spot? They are at least getting the pressure on early. Rain will win this challenge. Loose in front, and Rem has an easy clear out to Corey. So Penn State at least fends off the first attack, but you have to imagine it's going to be the first of many that they face here in a matchup where, again, they're going up against a team that scores early and often when they're at their best.
Yeah, and you said it was an easy clear, but honestly, is an open net easy, Stacks? Is it?
Not tonight sometimes.
I feel like even at the highest level, sometimes the easiest saves can be difficult, but here we see it. Rain going to get the first goal. But the reason I said that is if he missed that first challenge or that first hit, that would have been a wide open net. So it was a good play from Rem. But the Penn State defense crumbles early as Rain puts this first one in for the Knights.
Yeah, when you see just basically a challenge go in uncontested into an open net, you just kind of shake your head as the defender's like, well, I mean, we gave up that one, and now we got to stop them from scoring more when, again, they don't need gifts to score upwards of 4 or 5 goals in a game. Bambi will keep this in the zone. Penn State's got to get this away. Rem and Corey will pinch this downfield. It works out for a moment, but they still have Bambi downfield. Boy, he's an X factor. I mean, Bambi's never where he's supposed to be.
Oh no! Yeah, Bambi was dishing the ball left and right, back and forth. Rain jumped the gun a bit. Snipes was in position to take that shot after that pass from Bambi, but Rain couldn't help himself. Everyone has those moments where you're ready to just turn and go again, but sometimes that is not the best call.
Getting a little sense of my turn offense over on the UCF side. This one's just a little bit high, and follow-up is blocked away, and here comes Central Florida yet again. The Zoo trying to punch their ticket into the Eastern Conference playoffs. Rain will block this. Corey got the ball down there. Cam Bam taken off the field, and no surprise after that. Penn State's pass goes wayward. We'll get another chance, though. All the time in the world for Cam Bam to boom this downfield. And that physical play, maybe that's going to be the key to disrupting the Central Florida defense.
Well, see, they're keeping possession, and I like the play from Cam Bam. Snipes not the greatest clear off the back wall. Second touch from Rem is making things awkward. But Bambi, he was there to clean things up. That was a difficult position. Still not out of it just yet. Oh, the dunk! What a dunk from Corey, and the pressure just kept coming.
Yeah, Snipes is sitting back there like, okay, I got the follow-up. This is fine. No, there's a literal wall of Nittany Lions coming your way. No chance. And we're right back tied up.
That was a good onslaught there. I thought Bambi had done enough at that moment with the tough read, but Penn State just kept coming back.
Oh, this will drop down for Snipes, but he does make contact. It looked like he might have been going for the block, but then so was the Penn State defender, and his read is completely off, and Snipes bounces right by Cam Bam. What a play!
And Snipes, it's all about adjustments. You got to make those last-moment adjustments. Realize that no one on the defense was going to hit it. Didn't have the perfect takeoff for the shot, but that was really ideal, honestly, for Snipes. And it's funny because the goal that they scored, Penn State scored on the Knights, was a similar play. It was a ground pinch shot attempt. Theirs was a rebound that led to a goal, but Snipes was able to just score his outright.
Cam Bam trying to rush downfield after Central Florida set the house, but the Knights are able to get back on defense. Kind of scary there for Central Florida. Now Corey was going for the flip reset, but only got his back tire on the ball. And Bambi will at least slow things down for Central Florida. Now he can let Snipes bring the ball across, look at the center, but that's way too close.
Goodness.
Does still get contact, and that throws off everything Penn State was going to do. They wanted to play that slowly out of the zone. Woo! This double is just blocked by Rem, and he puts in double duty as well.
Shooting opportunity, though. Bambi with a rare miss. And you know, honestly, Snipes, super sub indeed. I have been loving his gameplay. Scored that bounce shot, making plays on offense. Key touches even there at the midfield. Snipes is having a great game.
Corey, as a man in mid, it is Ram. Redirect is read by Snipes. Cam missed on the double. Corey's there and Rain stops him as well. Oh, this game should be tied, if not for the heart and soul of the Knights.
What did Snipes have for breakfast? And the dunk from Bambi! The defense, the transition into offense, and Bambi looks like he even got bumped there and stayed with it.
What a sequence. What should have been a slam dunk goal on one side. Central Florida slams the door shut. Look, a shot was off from Penn State. Okay, mistakes happen. And then Bambi drops that on them on the opposite side of the field. And you go from almost tying this game to now needing 2 goals to equalize. And the midfield defense of Central Florida is giving Penn State absolutely nothing else. This will go downfield. It should be blocked, and it is by Snipes. Why wouldn't it be? He's blocked everything else. And he may even get to this as well. He didn't need to. A little pop over Rem, and they will get no mercy at the end of game 1. Central Florida stands tall. One big sequence in the final minute of regulation.
And there you see Snipes' lovely mug on his own profile picture, rocking that wig that we love to see him in the interviews. Snipes is a character, and he was the lead character in this story. Snipes, that early jump to get up on defense and read the shot. That was a situation you never want to find yourself in as a defender, where you're sitting there, you know, your teammates have abandoned you. It's a 2v1. The ball is high in front of net. You've got to decide whether to wait for the shot and see if you can block it and hope they don't shoot it that hard, or just go for it. And Snipes just goes for it and read it perfectly. And that led directly to a goal shortly after. So Snipes, he was everywhere on the field. I love watching him play in that game. Really well done.
Florida schools have turned up in CRL this fall season. We saw USF Gold pulled off Platteville earlier tonight. They did fall short to Akron. So has everybody else. By the way, Akron and Northwood tomorrow night. The battle of the undefeated squads in the East. Now, it is Central Florida. One of their 3 matches remaining. Trying to add a dub to the Florida tally as well. Bambi misplays this. Corey should have it. No, he missed. And Ram is blocked by Bambi at point-blank range. Yet another opportunity where Penn State is going to be kicking themselves thinking, how do we not come away with a goal?
Yeah, Bambi, he had that mistouch, but made up for it with the follow-up save. And now a shooting opportunity for Rain, and he blasts it top shelf. Penn State, they just had to watch this one. 70 miles an hour. A fastball, and Cam Bam caught flat tire. No chance for that.
And that little bump that sent Corey actually into the net might have also led to that goal as well, because the Penn State defense had to react just a little bit later once they established who was going to take charge. Rem from the ceiling drops it for Corey, and this time the Nittany Lions convert.
And that was a lovely slowdown from Rem. He handled that ball so delicately in the corner. Almost scored on the shot. Fortunately, Corey was there to clean up, but Rem, that presence of mind to slow it down. And that touch is so key, Stacks. You see it a lot of the top players, especially Bambi here showing us. That light touch off the ball, controlling that first touch is so critical in setting up a good play. And Rem did such a good job there.
They almost caught Snipes with his hand in the cookie jar, coming up a little too far. He was able to recover and lead to this counterattack from Central Florida, and it's Rain swinging from the ceiling.
Game 1, Snipes MVP. Rain, think he might have it here. Going off the ceiling and reading that one off the arc. Perfectly timed. Rain. Oh, man, that was a lovely goal.
Look, you can't trademark it, but I think we can call that a raindrop.
I like that.
Rain here making the block. That does kick out to mid. Rem shot challenges Bambi, and he wins, and we're tied again.
This is proven to be a slugfest. Punches back and forth. A hard shot from Rem. So now Rem, 100% goal participation. He gets the goal there. The assist earlier. Penn State not laying down.
Oh, another ball that almost kicked in front for Snipes. Instead, indirect pass looking for Cam Bam doesn't work out. Rem is up there too, and it's instead Corey, who does still have Cam Bam downfield, but he's got to rush back and intercept here at the center line. Central Florida, again, mostly winning the battle at midfield, but Penn State lately, or at least getting the pressure on. Another one that skips across. Corey's shot is wide. Rain actually brought that across for Rem. Cam Bam couldn't get that centered for Corey as Snipes got in the way.
Penn State has been pretty impressive with the amount of pressure they've been able to keep on the Knights. The Knights, like you said, Stacks, hoping for that top 6. But Penn State has not really been playing like a team that's down on the bottom half of the ladder. They've been keeping pace right now with the Knights, and maybe they can steal a game away.
Remember, this is a team that had Akron, the almighty Akron, on the ropes. I think they even had a 2-1 series lead. Probably the closest anybody's come to knocking off the Zips this season. Rain gonna get through Cam Bam. He cannot. Into the second half now of game 2. Bambi has Snipes across. Still has a chance to hit him. Still has a chance now to interfere with Rem, who gets free for just a moment. And that is great. Just physical defense from Penn State. They're not out of the woods yet, but that could have gone very wrong for them.
Yeah, we saw a multi-car pileup in the corner. But Penn State fighting through that traffic. And they're trying to get out of or get away from the scene of the accident right now, but the miss is going to make things difficult.
It's amazing how one miss can open up so many opportunities for a team, especially Central Florida. Biggest difference in the first game and a half of this series was Central Florida did not miss on their opportunities. Penn State has had chances to score enough goals to win the first couple of games, and now they've got a lead in game 2 as Cam Bam gets one under the bar.
And a huge miss from Rain. That directly cost them the goal. You just can't make that mistake on the wall. Rain is going to be regretting that one. Cam Bam, though, with a quality shot. You saw Snipes got up pretty quickly. I think if that ball is just a bit lower, he's saving it. So well done by Cam Bam to make the most of that opening.
Oh, that's a dangerous double commit that sent everybody to the left.
Uh-oh.
And another double. Now can Cam Bam drop this down? He's got his flip and he forces it through.
Bam, bam, Cam Bam with this one. Look at it. Gets the flip reset. And then the dunk. It was a backflip dunk as well. So is that a musty dunk? That was nasty from Cam Bam.
I don't know what to call that.
The monk.
All I know, yeah, sure, we'll go with it. It's a 4-2 lead for Penn State, more important than anything, as they try to even up this series and make Central Florida sweat just a little bit coming down the stretch. Another ball thrown in front for Cam Bam. He beats Snipes, and the Penn State Nittany Lions are running away with game 2.
This is getting out of hand. Cam Bam looking good. Getting up, a little twirl, a nice drop down. Snipes left guessing. Kickoff goal maybe?
Why not at this point? Everything else that had gone so wrong for them in game 1 is finally going right for Penn State, except that one being slammed off the post. It's been hard to find fault with Penn State in game 2.
Oh.
That ball skips through, but goes off the crossbar, and it just feels like a reversal of fortune between the first 2 games of this series, and I think it's time to go grab a snack and settle in, because we could be here for the full 5 games.
Penn State making some stellar plays, really, some statement plays. showing the Knights that they're here to compete, and they've got what it takes to get the win in this series. Rem does it to him as well. No mercy from Penn State.
Yeah, he just breaks free here, and that's just yet another case of Central Florida. Granted, I mean, this game has been decided for a little while now, but you've got two cars in the same place at the same time, going for the same ball. It does not work out yet again for Central Florida. And if those bad habits continue, Penn State could spring a massive upset and give some life to the likes of USF Green and Ohio State.
Yeah, that was a breakout game for Penn State. Cam Bam played incredibly well. That flip reset to Musty Dunk, that was dirty. You know, you called it. You said he had his flip back. We were waiting to see what he was going to do with it. Edged his car just enough to where he was able to get that force from the backflip. You have to time that just right, because if you don't, then you're actually going to be pushing your car backwards. You're probably not getting the dunk in that situation. He waited until he was just past that 90-degree mark so he could get the proper flip. And it was perfectly timed, perfectly done. And then that was not the only good goal he scored. We saw him with that little twirl, the low shot, dropped it right underneath Snipes. Cam Bam leading the charge for Penn State, but it was a team effort. Rem also started things off quite well. So Penn State, they've got enough gas in the tank, or so it seems, to really give the Knights a run for their money.
Well, let's see if they burned it all in that one game. I don't know what happened to Cam Bam here, but he went sailing past the ball, and Snipes scored an easy one.
And Rain faked him out. Cam Bam was going for the block on Rain's hit, and Rain just never made contact. That turned out to be the right play.
Oof.
Completely faked out the defense.
Sometimes a fake can make you look real bad.
Faking.
That made him look really, really bad. Gotta have a short-term memory, though, and certainly these players, all six of them, know all about that. Move on to the next play. They've been in this league long enough. Cam Bam will try to get one out to Rem. He can't go for this, so Cam Bam has to stay with the play. Now Rem will take over. Got Cam Bam to his left, and Snipes makes sure there's absolutely no pass. They got Corey on his way back. Double? No, and it's going to be collected by Bambi.
I like that aggression from Rain. Just going for the double tap. He says, I'm going for it, hitting it as hard as I can so the defense has no chance to defend it off the backboard. Fortunately for him, didn't have the right read, and a good pinch save off the post from Corey.
Oh, and that was dangerous. That was a triple commit from Penn State. We saw them punish Central Florida for their doubles earlier. Now Rem up top. Got the pass out to Cam Bam. As close to a set play as you're going to see. That is beautiful.
Just continues to whack him. That first touch right into the air dribble and completely fooled the defense.
That was majestic from Cam Bam and Rem. And it's got Penn State right back in game 3. But here's Rain for Snipes, blocked away by Rem. And now it's 1v1 the other way. Cam Bam can't get there in time. Now Rem got Corey. Penn State, their passing has been so much better than it was in the opening game. Corey getting bumped around by Bambi, though, so he can't get back. That means Rem's got to stay back. 1-on-1 with Snipes. 1-on-2. But Rain couldn't direct this on target, and Corey will sweep it away.
Oh, Cam Bam with a big miss there. Opens up the door.
You just kind of hold your breath at times with the defenses of these teams. I think Rain got a piece of that, and the shot whistled just a little bit high. And it will be Cam Bam's ball if he can get this down center for Corey. Ooh. He's up for it, and he did get a piece of Bambi, but that's going to be Rain all the way as he controls. Clever first touch.
Corey came in a little too hot, but was able to save the play by getting that bump. But he slowed down just a bit. Maybe that play could have been something more. However, Penn State in a position to put the pressure on. The Knights now having to find their way out, which they haven't had a ton of success for, even just thinking back to game 2. Penn State had a majority of the possession. The Knights just didn't seem to have an answer.
Rain, I think he got the flip reset, but just couldn't make the most of it. Now Bambi. He's got Snipes coming up, waiting for a pass. The pass never comes. It'll be Cam Bam just getting around Rain. But Rain somehow got the demolition on Cam there. Now Rain, he'll come up empty. Snipes' shot is partially deflected by Corey, and Rem can bomb this away. He needs to buy time for Corey to get back in the play. He is still struggling to get back, and that ball misses everybody. Bambi will try to drop one down again. It's still loose up near the top, and Snipes will watch Rem go right over top of him. Back and forth they go. It is a test of mechanics that's starting to turn into a war of attrition. Cam Bam trying to get this ball central for Corey for the lead. No! Follow is blocked as well as Cam Bam has to rush back.
You saw it. Corey had the line. Had to put that on target. It was a decent bounce. It was a tough angle, but definitely scoreable. And now the dunk from Snipes. It's bouncing in. Snipes. I think it was a flip reset here as well. You see him get it there and then flip into the dunk.
Oh, my goodness. You know, just to be able to see the game the way some of these players see it for a day, where everything just seems to be in slow motion, that you can react that quickly and adapt and improvise. It must be a treat. Rem is blocked by Bambi, and that's what Penn State has to overcome now as they try to get back into this game with just over a minute left. It is Corey getting a big chunk of the ceiling. It did drop right down to Cam Bam, but nobody downfield for Penn State. They've got to reset yet again. Another clear back across the center line. That backflip by Cam Bam means he's got to rush back and block that shot by Snipes. Good ball for Rem. If he can get a piece of it, he does, but Rain is back. Good rotations for Central Florida. They're not overcommitting at all here. They know they've got to keep the back door closed behind them, or at least secured. Otherwise, they could be going to overtime in a game that just mentally feels like a must-win at this point. You can't afford to throw it now. Drop down, though, from Corey, and he'll score!
Corey was just waiting. Snipes jumps off the wall, and you see Cam Bam crowding Snipes, and the touch just wasn't there. Corey having a rebound. Bambi was so confident that Snipes would hit it upfield that he left the net. Unbelievable.
Well, that slower kickoff from Central Florida at least got the ball on the right side of the field for them initially, but here comes Penn State again. 10 seconds separating us from our first OT of the series. 3 seconds now as Cam Bam will roll that out. Not out of the zone. Rain looking to get there in time. He does, to keep this alive for one more opportunity. Snipes not going to be able to get around on it. Rain can't either, and we do go to OT in game 3.
Penn State looked like they had the advantage late. Knights started off hot, but then cooled off. Win it here, though. Cam Bam stretches for that save. Well done.
We've seen plenty of short overtimes. We saw the overtime ending in just 6 seconds in Game 5 of that last series. By the way, of all 6 shots that UCF has taken, all have come from Snipes, who got the last touch on that one as well, but it's too late, and Cam Bam wins Game 3.
Rain, not the greatest touch, but it was a tough situation for him. Was low on boost, and Cam Bam, who has been the scorer for Penn State, last game had the hat trick. This game scores the overtime winner. Cam Bam with that clutch factor. Wow, that was such an exciting game, and for Penn State to come back in those final seconds. Wow.
Yeah, said must win for said it was a must-win for Central Florida, as they couldn't afford to drop that game after being ahead so late, even with 30 seconds left. They do drop that game after just an incredible challenge up by the ceiling. Corey is the, Johnny on the spot there for the equalizer. And then, of course, Cam Bam, why not, add his 5th goal of the series. And now it's got Penn State 5 minutes away from taking down the UCF Knights.
And I really did not see this coming. I had predicted a 3-0 in favor of the Knights, and I had predicted that Bambi would be leading the charge, and so far, neither one has been true.
I don't know if Rem was trying to get any air under that or not, but Cam Bam's shot's going to be blocked by Rain. Bambi with just a big boom downfield. Maybe out of frustration more than anything, just a little therapeutic bang downfield. That was almost a double commit from Penn State, but they're going to get away with it, it seems. Central Florida got to get their heads right in a must-win game now to prolong this series. Good ball for Rain, but he comes up empty again. And for all the praise we were giving Central Florida in game 1 and the first part of game 2, they're not converting on those opportunities where they get the ball close in front.
It's just not been their series. A few mistakes here and there, some missed touches, and some big moments. And oh my goodness, Rain almost had a disaster happen on the goal line. Did recover.
This ricochets around. It will go opposite corner, and Corey's there to make sure it never sees the middle of the field. Rem needed one more penny to feel like he could jump, and that little hesitation cost him. Rain was able to jump all over that ball. That's not a good touch either, but the shot's going to be blocked away by Corey. No pace on that shot from Bambi, nor on the one following up from Snipes. So here comes Penn State, looking for an early lead in game 4, but they won't find it. And Cam Bam being pressured a little bit by Rain. Had to be sure-handed with that ball, and he was.
Oh, the huge bump. Rem gets taken out on the goal line. Bambi will get credit for the goal, but it was Rain who comes out of nowhere with a big haymaker that opens up that lane.
Wow, that's another one of those. You go back to game 1. We just feel like, well, oh no, game 2. Where you give up an unexpected goal, and now all of a sudden you're behind the 8 ball against a team that is one of the better closers in the league. Granted, they did not close out game 3 very well. See what happens now as game 4 continues on. Bambi got this over 1. It is free for Rain, and he scores to double the lead.
Now, Rain didn't have any trouble reading this one. Bambi got there quick. It was a clean backboard bounce. You expect Rain to hit those, and he did that. No hesitation. But really, the speed from Bambi there was what set up that play. You could see the defense was left in the dust. Bambi got that second touch so quickly.
Cam Bam trying to time that up with Rem to maybe create a physics bomb down the field. That's blocked away by Bambi. And now here goes the man of the hour defensively for Central Florida. Can he get this ball centered for Snipes? No, the lead remains just 2 goals. Penn State not out of this by any stretch. As we've seen, they are one wayward challenge at midfield, or a little closer, away from getting on the board, and after that, all bets are off. You gotta wonder for Penn State as well. Do they reach a point of panic? They're gonna be down 3 goals here with 2 minutes left, and it may be time to start throwing caution to the wind as Snipes adds his 4th of the series.
And you can even see the trail of the ball going blue. So Corey did get a piece of it, but you could see the slowdown. Corey was expecting that shot to come in so much earlier. Snipes delayed the shot, and it proved to be enough. This game looks like it's out of reach for Penn State, but I thought perhaps Bambi might not be able to get there in time. But with that save, Stacks, you really feel like Penn State's just going to be looking towards game 5. And, ooh, a nasty double tap from Bambi. That's going to assuredly put the Knights on a winning path.
It is a mechanical exhibition at the Central Florida Zoo as Bambi adds another. And now Penn State, okay, you don't even think about necessarily pulling the goalie or throwing caution to the wind to get back into this game. You just go, all right, you know what? We blew them out game 2. They're going to blow us out in 1. Go to game 5. Everybody resets and let the chips fall where they may. They may even add another one here. Bambi popped that one just a little bit high, and oh my goodness, this is going to set up a goal. Are you kidding me? How does that fall that perfectly for Snipes?
Just a little pinch. And Snipes will be able to follow that up. Nice way to put a cherry on top of this one.
If you reach a point where That's going in. That's going as perfectly as it did. They may even had one off the kickoff. They do. Make it 6-0. Now you got to start thinking of your Penn State. I'm like, okay, if this is falling into place, what can we do in Game 5?
Well, you know, maybe they should slow down, save some of these goals for Game 5.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I mean, they're taking out some frustration. You know, you could tell that last game, Penn State pushed them around.
Well, Penn State is also going to have to try and recover from what has just been a beating. If this were a fight, they would have stopped it a minute ago at least. Bambi for Rain. They almost hit him, but Rem is there. The only thing left for Penn State to do now is break up the shutout. But then you're setting yourself up for a Brazil. Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Yeah, you really can't win.
You literally cannot win in any way, shape, or form here. But you know who can win? Those of us who get to watch this series go the distance, go all 5 games, and there's still a lot more to come after all of this. We've got, I think, what's going to be kind of a low-key banger of a series coming up after this series concludes between UT Dallas and I believe it's Mizzou. It is. 2 of the top teams out of the West. UT Dallas has sprung a few upsets as well as Penn State goes through the motions here, licking their wounds after a 6-0 defeat in Game 4, a game that Central Florida had to win, and by God, they have won it.
Yeah, it wasn't really even close this time, but the series has been close. It's been so back and forth. Close early games. We saw the overtime. We saw Penn State dominate the previous game, and now the Knights dominate this one. And so we've seen it all. Big punches back and forth. So now the pressure is on the Knights. They can secure that top 6 here right now with a win. Penn State, the underdogs coming into this one, but they have not really been playing like it. They have, other than this game, really played quite nicely, but this is when it counts. This is where you win. You have no more lives. Game 5, all on the line. Will Penn State be able to bring the level of play that they had earlier, or will they crumble under the pressure? Will the Knights be able to get this comeback victory? Because they weren't looking that sharp until just last game. So we'll see how this one ends.
The most iconic field in the game is the backdrop for a game that almost started with a pool shot kickoff goal. And it sounds like we're just going to start playing horse right out of the gates as Penn State puts the pressure on the zoo of Central Florida. Rem back to Corey. It's a clever ball back to him. And the Nittany Lions trying to start off early, take out all their frustrations after watching Central Florida just style on them for the better part of the last 3 minutes of that game. A shot's going to sail wide. That's one that Cam Bam's going to want back.
Yeah, Cam Bam, he's been so good for Penn State this whole series, and that was a goal that you've got to score. It's Game 5. The Knights just blew you out the previous game. That was a good look. He had to put that one in, and coming up short there, you wonder if that'll affect him. And now you see the double commit. Penn State starting to fray at the seams.
A little hero ball. This could be trouble. Rain drop down. No. Now it's Snipes, and his shot's blocked away, but everybody's still dancing around. As Snipes is going for a demolition. Back the other way now. Bambi. A clever second touch, and the follow-up shot is blocked by Rain. Boy, they are trading quick in every blow. This is nearly an own goal as it clangs off the crossbar.
But I want to talk about that save from Bambi. That is the mark of high-level players. Players that can get that first touch when they're retreating back to their own net and then get on the back wall and make a first touch that allows them to get the follow-up. Bambi had to buy time, and he did that. The save, it happened, but unfortunately for the Knights, it goes right back out to Cam Bam, who scores this time, makes up for the mistake earlier, and Penn State will hop out to an early lead.
They sent the house. It was the Rocket League equivalent of a 0 blitz, and it worked out. Everybody forward. A fortunate bounce, actually a well-placed pass to start everything off right in front of the net. And it works out for Penn State. Now the challenge has been thrown down to Central Florida. Make a stop here. No, it's an own goal!
An own goal. You hate to see it, but also you kind of love to see it sometimes. This has been such a high-level series in so many aspects. It's heartbreaking to see a play. Yeah, no, it's got everything.
Well, now that we've got the requisite Turbo Pulsa own goal out of the way, now we can get back to playing some Rocket League to see if UCF can make a multi-goal comeback here in Game 5. Oh, almost on the warpath as Rain's shot was just a little bit off. Bambi now tried to set up Rain, but he pushed that too far. Rain not in position, but he can still hang around. He's going to roll this in. No, Cam Bam makes the save.
And Cam Bam had zero boost. He had to dodge the bump. And now the counter goal. Rem will score it. And it's all thanks to that Cam Bam save earlier. Rem poking that downfield. Rain getting caught out in no man's land. At Penn State, now a 3-goal lead. We have about half the game left to play. I don't see the Knights coming back from this one.
I just don't think you saw him there. It's the only thing I could think of to make that turn and not go straight to the net. Works out for the Nittany Lions. They are indeed taking out their frustrations following a 6-0 defeat. They're halfway to giving it right back. Rain's got other plans, but he can't get that ball centered. And Snipes was thrown off by Bambi's touch. And everything is just very dysfunctional right now for the Knights. They still have 2 minutes to go. Got to start thinking about playing a lot more aggressively, and when you do that, this Penn State team, they can punish you. What a save by Snipes. He had to guess, but he guessed right.
I mean, Snipes, he's been guessing right all series. We saw him even pre-jump earlier in that 2v1. And if we see somehow, the miss from Rem. Now we've seen 2 chances that Penn State should have scored. So if by some miracle the Knights get back into this one, you can point back to those 2 moments and think about Penn State being able to really close out the series. They weren't able to, but the way things are going, Penn State's been able to keep so much possession and keep the Knights down. Still time, though.
And this skips all the way back into the Central Florida zone. And Snipes and Bambi run into each other. Hero ball offense is not working out right now. They're going to come up on a minute to go, and they made no progress towards cutting into this lead. Now they're just trying to pre-jump everything, make the reads. It's not working out. And Cam Bam doesn't boom this away. He just keeps control, throws it back downfield. Corey looking for the dagger, but Snipes stops him. And it's just a sliver of hope right now for Central Florida. Oh, they tried to pitch that right off of Bambi. Creative play didn't work out. As you said, gotta have it here. And Bambi played it out too far. The timing has not been there for the Knights in Game 5.
Yeah, you can tell Bambi's starting to just chase a bit. We saw them send multiple players at that one. Not much intention on that touch. And the shot weak as well, a booming clear. And Penn State, they got brutalized in Game 4, and now they come out in Game 5 as the underdogs and get a solid win. This was an impressive series from Penn State.
This whole series was, along the lines of like Penn State versus Pitt, and then it turned into Penn State versus, William Penn High School out of some random place. It was just a beating. In Game 5, Penn State dominates Central Florida in the decider, and they get to play spoiler and keep Central Florida from clinching a playoff spot for just a little bit longer.
Really wonderful. That was a great series, especially from Cam Bam. Cam Bam with some huge goals. Thinking back to that flip reset musty dunk, we saw some plays from Rem as well. Great finesse from him on the walls and in the corners. All around, Penn State, they looked very solid, especially offensively. I was really surprised to see them play so well and make such statement plays against a Knights team that is a heavy favorite. So that was really a hallmark win for Penn State this season, and they're going to be looking to this series to really draw a lot of confidence against anyone that they play.
Well, coming up next, we go out west for the final 2 matches, and this one I think is going to be a ton of fun. UT Dallas has sprung some upsets. Can they do it against the Mizzou Tigers? We'll find out right after this break.